sweet and or savory eats videos. I said I'd get this done by the end of the month. It is currently, day of filming this, Tuesday, 24 October 2023, approximately 6 p.m. I'm in Washington State. This is what it looks like outside. So fun fact, if you see a YouTuber in a northern state in the autumn or winter, or even spring months, saying they're out eating dinner and it's, you know, daylight out, it's not either blue or black or sky like that, and they don't have a light in their car or something, they're lying. They're not out at dinner. They're doing it for the performance. Okay, that's just something that I picked up on YouTube. And people do 24-hour challenges and they're in like a northern state like the Dakotas, North or South Dakota, or like Ohio or something, and they lie and say they're out at dinner when really it's the middle of the day. The day before. So 23 October 2023. Posting it on the 24th of October 2023. Did somebody already do that today? Oh. All right. So that's just a little tidbit about my filming location currently for this video. And beware of seasons changes and less daylight in some parts of the world. When I lived in Hawaii, the sunset time was like varied by like 1 hour. It was either 6 p.m. in the winter or like 7 p.m. in the summer. So it wouldn't really make much of a difference in a place like that. In a northern state, like Washington State, Idaho, Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York, Rhode Island, stuff like that. It matters a wee bit more. So somebody's lying if it's not dark in their car and they say they're out at 7 p.m. in December eating dinner. It's not you. So I got you. Don't worry. All right. I choose to be honest in my videos. At least to the best of my ability. There's always stuff I don't know. Right? Like maybe that person's not actually on planet Earth and they just lied about their location. Ooh. Okay, maybe they're actually in Australia at a McDonald's in Australia or something. Getting a boo bucket. Are people really that predictable? So, I digress. No, it's kind of relevant. It's a way of thinking. So I'm talking about my sweet and or savory eats videos analogy here for with the Olympic Games. And this is a way, kind of like the introduction, a way of keeping myself tuned into the food eating videos I watch, be it of people in a car or outdoors or whatever, where it shows the time of day kind of thing. Or just out in general, or at a restaurant, there might be windows, or so watching but also making videos and thinking through how to make it creative. So I decided to do an Olympic Games analogy. I have approximately 200 and something eating videos, and eating videos means I eat the food in the video. Okay. And yeah. And so I have developed, I track handwritten lists, and now I'm doing it in video form, and you can print out my video description and have it. As of filming this, I'm going to give you my site-specific and location-specific on-site sweet and or savory eats videos, locations that are analogous to Olympic Games host cities. And then I'm going to give my brand-specific items / products that are analogous to the Olympic Games host city. So I provided the list of my sweet and or savory eats locations and brands. I have designated my choice host cities and or countries for the Olympic Games and their analogy actual host city and or country. I have started including links to other videos at the same location or of the same brand in some of the video descriptions for my eating videos I put out. The Olympic Games host locations, cities, and countries are listed with the year for Olympic Games editions held. W stands for winter, S stands for summer, were scheduled to hold at some point before they were later canceled, or are scheduled to hold as of filming this video on Tuesday, 24 October 2023. Yeah, because technically a place that has had something canceled and was scheduled to hold is technically actually just as important as any edition scheduled, like, to be held. At the very least, if not more so, right? It's far rarer to have a place that has had something canceled, not much less canceled twice, than something that's actually held a game, right? That's the majority. Hosts holding games as opposed to being canceled. All right, my analogy location or brand is listed with their current video count and my choice host city and or country. So I wrote this video description, like I write all my video descriptions and make my own videos. At least for the time being. Who knows, maybe even if I move in with my soulmate and or soulmates, I might stay in charge of this channel if there's enough demand for that. But that's a bit moving specific, and the conditions of the move and who I move in with, if I move in with anyone, specifically my soulmate and or soulmates. Okay, so we're gonna go through category by category, and this is just gonna be me kind of reading through it. So this is the current numbers for both and current status. So this is a static video description kind of thing for this. Like if I go out and have something tomorrow from one of these locations, it doesn't change the numbers when I film this video. 1, 2, it also means, I guess my last note before I jump into it, if I eat a product or eat at a location and they surpass one of these, it does not displace one of these. These were achieved in eating order with the actual same chronology as like the host nations and host cities for the Olympic Games. I didn't go so fast as to miss it with my videos. It was methodical, and I actually did think of this back in California, like 2017, 2018, when I was started putting videos out on this channel, Tanis Leonardi. And I am Tanis Leonardi. Keeping my name for life and after death. Yes, I'm boring. I am keeping my surname. I keep my middle name, keeping my first name, and surname is a family name, so that's Leonardi. And yeah, so it does. So if I eat, 25 Häagen-Dazs products, it doesn't displace these ones because this is the chronological pairing. So that doesn't get displaced. That's just how reality works. Chronology is like the passing of events, and once something's passed, which this already has, these things already have. Or even if just the scheduling of an edition of an Olympic Games, right? It's already set in stone, that act. All right, so this is preserving that in my eating videos and stuff. All right, so first, site-specific and location-specific on-site sweet and or savory eats analogy host Olympic Games host city. Up first, 85 degrees C Bakery Cafe. I am currently at 6. This is for the one on Highway 99 in Edmonds, Washington State, United States of America. My choice of Taiwan, China, as the host city and country. And then Olympic Games is London, United Kingdom, and it's held for, or the other thing I mentioned. So the 1908 Summer Games, the 1944 Summer Games were canceled, the 1948 Summer Games were held, and the 2012 Summer Games were held. Up second is Dick's Drive-In on Highway 99 in Edmonds. Same as before. For the rest of it, I've had 5 there, and my host city and country is Seattle, United States of America, as of filming this, which is my American hometown. The Olympics Games instead chose Paris, France, with 3 editions: the 1900 Summer Games, the 1924 Summer Games, and the 2024 Summer Games are scheduled. Up third is PCC Community Markets. This one is in Bothell. Same as before, Washington State, United States of America, playing with the original. I have 3 there. My choice of host city and country is Bergen, Norway, which is my Norwegian hometown. Instead, the Olympic Games chose Los Angeles, United States of America, which has 3, which is the 1932 Summer Games, the 1984 Summer Games, and the 2028 Summer Games are scheduled to be held there. Up fourth is Pierogi and Crepes European Bakery Cafe. I have 3 there. It's in Everett, Washington State, etc., etc. My choice of host city and country is Kazan, Russia. The Olympic Games instead chose Tokyo, Japan, with 3 editions there. 1940 Summer Games were canceled. 1964 Summer Games were held, and then the 2022/2021 Summer Games were held, but late. And then up 5th is McDonald's. This is the one on Edmonds Way in Edmonds, Washington State, United States of America, playing with the original. I have 6 there, and my choice of host city and country is Edinburgh, Scotland, and the Olympic Games instead chose Cortina d'Ampezzo, Italy, with 3. In 1944, it was scheduled to hold the Winter Games and was canceled. In 1956, the Winter Games were held, and the 2026 Winter Games are scheduled to be held there. We're doing all right. All right, up second and last is brand-specific items/products. Analogy is Olympic Games host country. Up first is Reese's. I am currently at 15. Sweet and or savory eats of Reese's. My choice of country is South Africa, and the Olympic Games instead chose the United States of America. It's at 9. It held the 1904 Winter Games, 1932 Winter Games, 1932 Summer Games, 1960 Winter Games, 1980 Winter Games, 1984 Summer Games, 1996 Summer Games, 2002 Winter Games, 2028 Summer Games are scheduled. I find it incredible how privileged the United States is in terms of hosting. It's one of those countries that kind of, if there's any one country in the world that is long overdue for a military invasion and war on its own soil, it's the United States of America. And the hosting of Olympic Games, there's like a reminder of that and how many editions have been canceled in other countries. But like, you know, America's bombed all those other countries or killed people in those countries or in the airspace over those countries or the waters of those countries. Is what the tally for America killing people on other soils at over 100 countries. I'm like, there is no villain bigger than the United States of America in the past, since the modern Olympic Games came into existence. All right, maybe that's rigged that way. Okay, up second is Top Pot Donuts. I'm at 6. My choice of host country is Algeria. The Olympic Games instead chose France. Of course it did, which is at 6. The 1900 Summer Games, the 1924 Winter Games, the 1924 Summer Games, the 1968 Winter Games, the 1992 Winter Games, and the 2024 Summer Games are scheduled. Up third, Friends Bakery and Bakery Outlets. I'm at 9. My choice of country is Burundi. The Olympic Games instead chose Japan, which is at 6. I'm at 9 for the Friends Bakery and Outlet. So for Japan, it was 1940 Winter Games were canceled, 1940 Summer Games were canceled, 1964 Summer Games were held, 1972 Winter Games were held, 1998 Winter Games were held, 2020/2021 Summer Games were held. Talk about getting pummeled by the Olympic Games. 3 editions were anomalous. Only one country like that. Germany is not far behind, though. Kit Kat, so up fourth is Kit Kat, also has Kit Kats, depending on if there's a space or not. I'm at 5. My choice of host is Cuba. Olympic Games instead chose Italy, which is at 5. 1944 Winter Games were canceled. 1956 Winter Games were held. 1960 Summer Games were held. 2006 Winter Games were held, and the 2026 Winter Games are scheduled to be held. And 5th is Trader Joe's. I'm at 6. My choice of country is Turkey. The Olympic Games instead chose Germany. 1916 Summer Games were canceled. The 1936 Winter Games were held. The 1936 Summer Games were held. The 1940 Winter Games were canceled. And the 1976 Summer Games were held. And up last, Quality Food Centers QFC is at 5. My choice of hosting country was Italy. And the Olympic Games instead chose the United Kingdom, which is at 4. 1908 Summer Games, 1944 Summer Games were canceled. The 1948 Summer Games were held, in 2012 Summer Games were held. So in conclusion, that's it. I'm going to print that out. Links in the video description to my playlists of like categorizing the food into sweet and savory eats, as well as playlists with how I eat the food. Like, is it in my car? Is it at home? Is it out in a restaurant or at a park or something like that? Yeah. So there we go. A little bit of fun for if you want to like think about the Olympic Games while watching, or me too.